It's if one year for Mamunina Kwaba once again by Fidikesi so yeah Pinax TV. Now Sabra Minoka say the election fight is going on. That is the election petition fight between the National Democratic Congress and also the Electoral Commission and the New Patriotic Party. There's breaking news on Dexa Pinax TV news as always. We give you all the latest happenings in regards to this particular election chaos and fight at Ghana. As I'm speaking to you now, NDC have taken their case to the next level. I want you to pay attention to the screens. The pictures you are seeing on the screens, the NDC Minority Caucus in Parliament, or more presenting evidence, or more case to the British High Commissioner and the US High Commissioner. Mitmark and said they presented their case to the US and the UK. Said this election was stolen. They also went further and further to provide evidence at Pinax TV. Yensaka evidence is nibia. Yeah, the better screen is so as time goes on. The evidence 1, evidence 2. We want you to know that all of these evidence are and it is from the NDC, that's the Parliamentary Caucus, NDC Parliamentary Caucus in Parliament. Or more this same way about Pinax TV. So you have TBA bro, so that you can know exactly what is going on. Now let's start off this way. We all know the fight which is going on in Ghana. The election fighter, the National Democratic Congress, they've sworn that this election was rigged, it was stolen. But we don't have a definite, a particular cause, and I say a definitive cause. Ibit Maka say NDC wants this or NDC wants that. What they are saying is that this election, let's put it that way in a simple sense. So, in the simple sense, they want either a second round of the election, or perhaps they want all the ballot papers to be counted again. If more needs to be done, they need to sack the Electoral Commission chairperson, whose name is Madam Jen Mensah. But in all of this, they've presented their case to the Supreme Court. Presenting the case to the Supreme Court, according to NDC, it does not stop there. It still goes a long further way, or it still goes a step further way for them to make their case, which means they've stated via their party flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, will agree, and he has actually advocated, said the party members can go on demonstrating, despite the fact that the police have said no demonstration within this particular period. Also, John Dramani Mahama said there will be various forms of protest. They've moved from the Supreme Court, petitioning the Supreme Court, protesting and demonstrating. See, they are presenting their case to the UK government, say this election was stolen. This election was stolen, and they are not just doing that by talking and making their grievances heard. They are saying it based on the evidence that they have at their disposal. So just yesterday and any 3 days, they met in a closed door meeting with the UK ambassador and also the United States ambassador. Mitmark said once their convoys in this country, in this particular country, Ghana, they actually signify the whole country, which means as a Ghana, your ambassador, a ambassador from UK to Ghana, Nipano or Ghana, or no, Ojinimuma the whole of UK, and I say, or ambassador my US, Ojinimuma the whole of US. So they've presented their case to US to UK. I'll be putting exactly what went on in the closed door meeting, because we have up to date details in what happened. As the pictures now we'll share on the screens. A UK and US convoy. You see, they presented. Well, we share evidence. They provided the pink sheet that they provided. That woman no. These people, they have a case. This election is not what we think it is. It's for these are the pictures, exclusive pictures that you are seeing. So Okujotra Blackwa presenting his case to the United States ambassador and their convoy here in Ghana, together with the UK ambassador and the UK convoy to Ghana. So basically, that is what is going on. As you see, we need to give you the details of what went on in the meeting. In a second, we'll be putting what Okujotra Blackwa said or wrote on his Facebook handle, together with pictures and the details of what actually ensued in the meeting. Immediately, we show you that, but then we go and show you some evidences. NDC from the chair abroad they had a closed door meeting, making their case heard, said this election was indeed stolen. Now, we want you to pay close attention to what is happening on the screen, sir. this particular one is an evidence. This particular evidence, it clearly shows you that the election was stolen. Now, as you can see on the screens, this is the Facebook page of Samuel Okudzoto Ablakwa. Let me remind you, the closed door meeting, it was attended by big wigs. I have their names here. It will be to say Okovandapo, who is the former Accra mayor, and also Haruna Dusu, the minority leader in parliament, Okudzoto Ablakwa, and other people, other huge NDC bigwigs who are leading this frontier. This election was stolen, and with all due respect, Ghana, we need to go for a second round of the election. Now, as you can see on the screens, it's exactly what I can also see on my screen. Semiridia, as Mema highlight maybe I'm Mr. TV. Maybe I'm highlighting it as so as part of the NDC parliamentary caucus where Okudzoto Ablakwa and Samoko posted on Facebook telling the NDC people say how far, and this is how far they've gone with fighting this election corruption and this fraudulent election which happened in Ghana, and also making their case head say the UK government should listen to them, the US government should listen to them. This election was stolen. Miridi, I say as part of the NDC parliamentary caucus series of transparent engagement on our fundamental concerns about the flawed December 7, 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections, we held a session with our American and British international partners in parliament yesterday. Basically, more patches say election in Nancy, of course, we are many errors. The figures are easy, but who so on idea what you call or say wrong or koba be correcting hosa, and this is a fraudulent and a flawed election. 3 words: fraudulent, flawed, and also fraud elections are basically in this forecast that this election is not what it ought to be. So basically, what Samuel Okudzoto Ablakwa is saying is that they had some meetings with the American and British allies. These allies are not just an allies of the NDC, but an allies to the whole of Ghana. They stand in to be a mediator between Ghana and whatever body or international organization there is, which means your UK ambassador or yes, also a US ambassador or that is exactly what he's saying. So I may trust her. Also, the caucus under the distinguished leadership of leader Haruna Adusu and the second deputy speaker Alban SK Bagbin presented evidence and the basis for the NDC's rejection of the multiple results declared by the EC for the presidential contest and the dubious parliamentary declarations, particularly in Techiman South and Sefiri. Also, we also highlighted the grave human rights violations which have led to the killing of 7 Ghanaians and left many with life-changing injuries. Basically, Pacha said this particular thing, it happened between the NDC caucus and our NDC team in parliament. They met with them and to tell them, say, and yes, NDC for pay change. And as you say, NDC for peace. They want peace, but they want the peace to come at a very good way, and they want the peace to come at a very appropriate and positive way. But this particular one, they can't sit there and just watch whilst MPP take the meat out of their mouth. They presented evidence, and as some of the evidence, Ekoma, meeting the ambassador to UK, the ambassador to US, and various other international organization appointees and representatives are now meet Nasia. The evidence nature say when and results need to know. Into so pictures on the screens now, and a pictures you realize Bonini no, this is something that we really need to look at. So that is exactly what Okudzoto Ablakwa is saying. Now, Sakato also say election year, of course, amount for back 7 in the way. And the question here Okudzoto Ablakwa is asking say Banisana Ghana yekoto aba amount for 7 ebewu, and these 7 people who died, and yes, the police, the military, one way or the other engage with them. They shot some people dead. The question is, must you use a gun on the person? Must you use, or must you go and use the form? Say, is that the final way for you to kill person? And no, is it the right way? That is what Okudzoto Ablakwa is saying. Say, election year, come 471. This is a violation of human rights. Now, say, me can't atwaswa. Maybe I'm a highlight. Also, we shall continue with our series of legitimate engagements in the spirit of democratic accountability, resisting subversion of the people's will, and preserving the pillars of the Fourth Republic birthed by our political tradition. Important to emphasize that the engagement shall proceed without prejudice to the petition filed at the country's apex courts. The National Democratic Parliamentary Caucus avails itself of this opportunity to convey special New Year wishes in advance let us never give up on the hope justice shall triumph. Basically, Ablakwa Eka say, what has went on is a dent on Ghana's democratic and Ghana's democracy. Na se Ghana ebeko abato na abano ebeba atopepe na ubiajo ana ubiabo ato niyem no de wedi entisa ya bomodin make sure ye titi amanfo fa ho die so ye kunkum nipa na resource e wo se obinya no ye fa ni nyina amomo ya fa resource ni nyina amomo se de kwan bia akwabrane ana obi be ya obenya power no eno a na woni tima NDC ade omenya no ya fa ni nyina efi omenum anase agini nyina efi omu nsema opaje se we na course nyama bi say course ni de omutimi entina won yen hwe han enhwe. So based on that, so they will continue to make their case heard. And ntiana we won say now ni ya no mako Supreme Court omode omano so de and case akoma the Supreme Court basically they are telling the Supreme Court a lot of things went on. This election was fraud. They will continue to fight, but as they continue to fight, they will be presenting their case. And also they'll be doing everything possible to make sure say the right thing is being done and the will of people will not be subverted, which means amount for the omo panel and the omo vote yes omo panel yen kwasasano. That's exactly what Okujuto Ablakwa is saying. That is exactly what you can see on the screen. Now the big matter here has to go with which evidence am I talking about. I want you to pay close attention to what is on the screens currently. Now if you can see what is on the screens, this is send ya trouble top on evidence number 1 source NDC tenye ye kofa by NDC for ne de buy okay say e bra na elections ne course no yehu anai picture bi e viral on social media, police form stormy who and I say one of these areas and demonstration e course no and yehu say policeman ya on the screen so no wa boss ma de na ohwe papa ya amount forecast this one cannot be a policeman because he can't create. Even in the military you can't have a tattoo. In the military, you can't have a tattoo. In the military, you can't have any piercing. The ban is saying yetimi who a policeman say police for they don't have any tattoo, they don't have any piercing on their body. We see a policeman in Ghana's police uniform with a piercing on the ears. Picture me to me zoom in, but if you see the real picture in the videos which came out first, this man had a piercing on the ear and he even had a tattoo. National body said police force what they leave is a mustache. So what is this? Pay addresses says Sako and I say rapid rapid. This is the evidence NDC presented to the white people. They presented it saying this man is not a policeman, he is a vigilante member of the New Patriotic Party. They gave him clothes like a policeman to go and actually harm people, to go and destroy people, to go and actually yes, to go and actually make people fear him, to put fear and panic in people. And these people, because they are not police people and they are NDC vigilante, when they reach there, they make sure that whatever their boss have told them to do, they will do it. So this is the evidence number 1. Now let me go on to the evidence number 2, and also now when you say they will put it on the screens. Now, what you are seeing on the screens now is the Techiman South results. Now, I won't be a hypocrite. There's something I don't know here. I don't know who is standing in the name of the National Democratic Congress in the Techiman South constituencies. But clearly, you will see, sir, they have their results here. You have the polling station name, the eligible voters, which means voters are the total people who can vote, and also the candidate's name na enjoying a kitwa kakra or candidate's name or say Martin BBB and a Christopher something. So these two are the people who are representing the candidates, and are both candidates at both political parties at Techiman South, the highly contested constituency in this particular election. According to NDC, the person who has a clear lead, if I'm correct, Christopher NDC na nipa na NDC no ono no win here. It's a ban is and the early polls and the early figures which came show said this man who is an NDC person won. But at the end of the day, the figures showed otherwise. Now, for clarity's sake, and since then the meeting confirm say we have the name. Now, the name which is the Martin AJ, this was what was actually presented to the white people, and as the ambassadors and the foreign convoys are NDC for New Munya meets, they projected this on the screens, and no na yitima capture yes yensa akabi no. According to this particular Excel graph and as Excel tabulation na or my their two screens, so I'm more part just say a dia wo ho ma me hwese meeting me the Keza. Okay, the Keza is not going to work here, but then so we share a dia we share starting far left near polling station code, the polling station name, now about eligible voters, now about Martin. It's in the Martin a MPP parliamentary candidate. We shut down on the total figure on and then total votes on 50,118. We call the next one Christopher. Now, Christopher NDC. We share Christopher figures no 50,368. So this clearly shows that the person who had an upper lead or an upper hand was the NDC person. But we share Techiman South. Now East be declare results new or purchase MPP nafa. This is the case. I say this particular election was a fraudulent election. It was a flawed election. Flawed is different from fraud. Fraud is bad, something gone bad, and flawed is also something gone bad. Full of errors. That is the argument by this National Democratic Congress or more parliamentary caucus, and they met with this dignitaries who shall see the total votes and the total eligible voters are also multi voting. It was at Techiman South to 128,021. But at the end of the day, two candidates and you could see clearly say both of these two candidates, Nipa Owini with the highest margin of figures. Christopher or NDC 50,362, and I'm sure the difference is quite there. At the end of the day, they are saying say this particular SL thing and our SL data or tabulating, it clearly shows that NDC is far ahead. But at the end of the day, when they presented the thing, the case was otherwise, which made MPP won. This is why they are saying the election was stolen. They needed to have the clear majority in parliament. Akufo-Addo never even had the opportunity, and as it was not close to Mahama, but they succeeded in changing anything to suit their own selfish gain. So this is how far we've got as a nation. This is how NDC is sending their case, telling people. So evidence number 2, and the screens no. So this is how far the whole thing is going. The pictures that you are seeing on the screens were pictures that of the meeting that ensued between the ambassadors, the UK convoys, the US convoys, and the NDC parliamentary caucus. They actually presenting their case in parliament, saying that this election was indeed stolen. We will try to give you, and I will not even try, it is our mandate right here to give you all the latest updates in regards to this case. Remember, anything can happen and anything can change. There's a popular saying that he who laughs last best. So don't be laughing yet. Let's watch as all of these 10 of events unfold, and let's see who comes out as the ultimate winner. We will give you as the ultimate winner. We'll give you more updates as these 10 of events unfold right here in our beloved country, Ghana.